when people have a what and a when, so if you imagine there's like an arrow, and we do this with our health goals, we do this with our business goals. If we've got a real fluffy, like I want to lose 5 kilos by sort of August, versus I need to lose 5 kilos because I've got a wedding on August the 12th. When you've got a real clear what and a real clear when, then you look for the who and the how to show up. So the who and the how would be, do I get a personal trainer? Do I do nutritional cleansing? Do I change my food? Do I blah, blah, blah? And that sort of works with health goals. The central thing to that what and the when is this real strong why. So like a personal reason why that person's going to stay aligned with that goal. So, we've been through all that stuff with the business side. We've been through that stuff with the health side. So what we want to do now is just set a promotion, which is essentially, we're in winter at the moment, Northern Hemisphere for Judy, and if anyone else that's sort of targeting people in the UK will be maybe a summer thing or maybe a post-summer thing. But if we get a real clear what and a when, so a real clear promotion with a real strong personal why, then all we have to do is find the who, the how, the strategy is, network marketing, nutritional cleansing, and then we can just connect the dots and run this together. So before we kick into it, could everybody just in the comment section below, just share one thing, just one thing. We want to make this a dialogue. Maybe have some questions. Maybe have something that went really well this week. So if everyone could just share one thing in the chat box, then I'll get ready to take us through this little presentation. And I'll share one. So I've got the Albany crew having a launch this Wednesday. And you've got 10 confirmed, or 5 or 10 confirmed already. Hunty, yeah, new health campaign. That's sick, man, and that's awesome. So you're pretty much, you guys are already on to it. I think that's a belly buster challenge that you guys are doing. So are you running that in conjunction with Gemma? Yep. Yep, cool. So we can team up and have different whats and whens, but the point is also having a group we can feed into and give common value, and that's what I'll talk about tonight. What else we got? Dry July Cleanse. Is that from Fib or from Laura? From Fib. Epic, man. So no booze for all of July. I'm gonna treat July as like breaking an addiction. So for me, I've got back into coffee and having a sugar with my coffee. So if I break the habit of having a coffee every day, then I'll break the habit of having sugar with my coffee every day. So I'm okay with alcohol and healthy moderation. I'm gonna go for coffee. Yep, the reset, cool. Dry July Cleanse, doing a full reset with a few crew. So do it with me approach. That's wicked, Fib. It's awesome. All right. What else? Haven't heard from Lockie. Lockie, 2 months off the booze from me, 2 weeks in. Epic. What about Sim and Judy? Come on. I know it's been a while since you've been on, Jude. It was good to hear from you. I saw your post today. That was pretty sick. Looks like you've been working hard in the off season. Back to the gym. So you never left the gym. Epic. Okay. UIA comment above rules from Lockie. Yep. Sorry, man. Missed that one. What was that? Implemented Lloyd and Alicia's 8-step duplication process from UIA this week and last. Do you want to just take yourself off mute for a second, just explain what that is for everyone else?
Yeah, I can do a video. I took a 10-minute video from Lloyd when he was doing the panel on UIA. It went for 10 minutes. I was going to post it in the group, but I can literally just summarize it as a post tomorrow if you like. So just jump on and do a live or do a video on the BFREE page if you want, and just run through what he said. But it's basically just printing out your Facebook friends list, sending 100 messages, saying this, that, and whatever, and then just waiting for replies. So it's up to you what you want me to do there. So I can even do it.
Yeah, go for Facebook Live in the BFREE group if that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe no more than 6 minutes.
Yeah. No, I'll be able to do it in 4 or 5, like just literally just 8 steps, and then just boom, just kind of get it all done. Yeah, I've written it all down. I've got it as a video. So yeah.
Yeah,
I can do that tomorrow.
Sick. All right, man. Okay. Sorry, man, I'm on my hotspot, so the connection might be a little bit unstable. But let's kick into this, guys. I'll wrap this up by 8:30. The whole key thing is for tonight is to really is just get us all in tune for, we're coming into the end of the 2018 financial year, so we're coming into a new rhythm. So there's a couple of things you might want to write down and really set the scene for. And if you're not working on like a financial year with them at the moment, maybe that's a good idea, July 1 to June 30, because this will line up with all your finances, all your taxes and everything else, depending on what country you're in. But for Australia, it definitely will. So each July 1st, I set a new future vision for the next 12 months. So that's, the vision board thing. That's the written script of what's going to happen. So if you haven't done that already, or you've got your own rhythm, maybe consider setting a new future vision for the next financial year. And also from a business point of view, starting to set the promotions that we're going to be doing for the next financial year. So, as an example, the call for events that you'll be thinking about plugging into will be Celebration, obviously, in America. Just a show of hands, who's coming to Celebration in America this time around? I'll be over. Is anyone else going to be able to make it?
Maybe.
Hunties, maybe. Yep, that's cool. I didn't make it for the first couple of years, guys, but it is something really worth plugging into. Just to show of hands, who's already booked a ticket for ANZ Celebration next year? Yeah, so about 50% of us. So the key thing, guys, if you're setting you're treating this like a business rather than a hobby, then those events will be in your calendar for the next financial year regardless, especially the call for. And the big thing about that is and I know we had UAA, so well done for getting that, Lockie and the crew. Is the thing is, if you don't go, then your team's not going to go. So, it's very easy to say the do it with me approach, come with me approach versus, hey, you go and I've already been, or I'll check it out. I think Peter did it when I was doing it for about 3 years, even though she'd been to David Wood like 3 or 4 times. And she did that to get that duplication of momentum to then have people go on events and bring in their people. So just consider that for yourself if you're looking to build your business in the next financial year. Now, with taking away from those long-term promotions, coming to this the next specific promotion is we're looking at a winter reboot. So what we're going to run through here. So what we have set up, and this worked really well. We had Cameron Byford jump on about 4 weeks ago, and she talked about how she did a specific campaign, so created a lot of attraction with her list, got a group of girls to work together in the same way that we're doing this now. And then basically went out with one campaign and said, hey, we've got a winter reboot, or we've got a belly buster challenge, whatever you want to call it. And then they funneled into a specific group, which was like a holding space where you're just giving value. So it's where people haven't yet started, but they're getting a lot of information. So we did this in the past, remember, with the big old... summer reset, and actually worked really well. So rather than creating a new group, what we decided to do is, we've got customers there already. So if you haven't been added already, we have the Be Well Reboot group here. So just 1 second. My screen again. Just need to get to this. So can everyone see that? To the Be Well Reboot group. So Be Well Reboot. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this as a group for the 12 months. And basically what can happen, as an example, so I've got an event down in Albany this week. I'll go and I'll present. A couple of the people in my team will be sharing their stories. And then anyone that they attract, what tends to happen after we have a conversation or we have an event is there's nothing really to connect them to. We might put them in the Be Well group, or we might write them on a list and then have them on our follow-up. And I guess that's where the fortune is really in the follow-up after people have said, yes, I'm interested. So that's what this group is about, is once people said, hey, man, I'm keen, you got permission, you've sent them a tool, or they're like, hey, I actually want to find out more, then what we can do is we can then add them to this group, providing that they've said, yes, they want to be added. So this is not a drop and dump group. It's really about people that said yes. Now, the pinned post is we're going to support basically whatever everyone's already doing. So this is about integrating nutritional cleansing into their lifestyle. The first tool that we've got at the top is we've got Mary Evans. So there's a common tool that we're all using. And then from there, we're going to put up through using the Be Well page. So not us specifically, we're going to have stories come up. So we're going to give, you know, the recipe to the cake. So most people that you chat with will be like, hey, how did Lockie put on 10 kilos? Hey, how does Reese, you know, not lose weight whilst he surfs 6 hours a day? And what we can do is we can start being like, hey, this is what he does, and this is the program that Reese started with, and here's the other things he does on the side. So there's a bit of a recipe. And what can happen then, so say you meet someone who's like, oh, you know, I can't lose weight without exercising, then you simply come down, you find a story that's relevant, and then you tag him and be like, hey, Reese, check out Holly's story for X, Y, and Z, right? And then you can really direct the conversation. Now, what we're also going to do in here as well is we're going to basically have weekly Facebook Lives. So Tully and I will set the rhythm with that, and we'll do Q&As and things like that. And all you guys have to do is engage and ask questions and add your people. And then after about a month of running this process, you can just leverage the work that me and Tully are going to do for the next month. Then if you have any suggestions or you want to get in, add value, just send us a message and be like, hey man, I reckon this would be really good. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it in and then keep this going. And the point is, it's pretty impossible to keep this running for 12 months at a time. But what we might do is do like 4 promotions a year. So this one specifically, so the next group commences for this group on July 16th. So if you're already running promotions, you can get in line with this, or you can run your own dates. It's up to you. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have to be a winter reboot. It could be a summer reboot if you're Northern Hemisphere. It could be a belly buster challenge. Whatever attraction you want to use, you can use that and then invite to this space. And what we then have is 3 options. So we're really upfront about the money. We can do Facebook Lives about the cost objection and things like that, all the common questions that we get. But basically we want people to start with either a 9-day reboot. So that might be the simple thing like Cameron Byford did with her crew, or they might do the 28-day reset, which is like, you know, the sort of the simple pack, or they might do the full premium pack, right? So we're given an option 1, 2, or 3. The best thing about marketing is talk about the premium pack first and then work backwards. So then people feel like they've got 1, 2, or 3 options, and we can meet them where they're at. So then, you know, this space is just to have that 8 to 12 follow-ups, and obviously you need to, you know, have your own launches and, you know, connect and build your own rapport and use 3-way calls and stuff to help get them across the line. But this group is just something where once you've had the conversation, you've got permission, they can go here. Once they start, only once they've actually paid the money, then you add them to Be Well. Does that make sense? So that's when we add them to Be Well. So, and then Be Well is all about the customer journey. So this is where, you know, in here, we're sort of, we're painting the picture early, but the customer journey for anybody that comes into Be Well, and this should be our mindset for like every single person, is that they do a 30-day reset and then they do 90 days of maintenance. So you know, it's like, and the thing is, man, is like your customer experience will be dictated by, 1, how they start, whether or not you do the 5-star service and get them started properly, and the first 2 weeks. Because if they don't get set up properly and then you don't help them through the first fasting and cleansing day, you're basically setting them up emotionally for a shitty experience, because, you know, life will get in the way, and, you know, you're trying to implement processes and fasting and things they've never done before. But if you get them through that first 30 days, you get them to share their story in the Be Well group, and then all of a sudden it's maintenance for the next 90 days and checking in with them fortnightly. That's when you get these lifetime customers. That's when you get word of mouth marketing. That's when the attraction to your group and your results starts to build as well. And then we can grab the stories from Be Well, and then the ones that give us permission, we can pop back into this holding space, and then, you know, we can tag people in and they can attract their people and so on and so forth. So it becomes a really duplicatable process. Something very simple that anyone can do. Doesn't matter if they're a mum or whatever, and they can leverage our knowledge and content, and we can start sharing the tools in a way that's really simple, and it's done in a way where there's a weekly rhythm as well, so it's not too overwhelming. So far, does that sound pretty good? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Yep. So the point is, this process works. We've done it before. You know, we did it with the Be Well Summer Reset. Cameron's done it. It works really well. This is what all the digital marketing guys are doing. All we have to do is create attraction, do our events, and then put them in space, and then obviously do the follow-ups that way. So I'll come back to the slides. If you have any questions as well, just chuck them in the chat box. I'll just have a quick look, see if there's anything so far. What do we got? Hey, iPhone BBB challenge campaign, deep planning and keeping it simple. Would love to know how to print out Facebook friends list. Tried to Google it, but I couldn't work it out. I'm not sure about you, Laura, but if someone can maybe post that in BFREE, that would be epic. Facebook friends list, go to general account, settings, your Facebook, download information. Okay, cool. That's sorted. But awesome, guys. Good to keep that dialogue going. Let's keep going. So what we've put together here is for each reboot that we do through the Be Well community, it'll be a holding or a prospecting page, as I said, and each quarter we'll run a new one. So basically one promotion a quarter, and then that way there's a what and a when for each quarter that we do. So imagine July 1st through to July, August, September, and then October through to December, and then Jan through to March, and so on and so forth. So it becomes, because the thing is, what we want to do is and this is what I see with the real successful companies, is they set up a rhythm, not just for like now and like hit and hope and do a promotion. It's like you set up a rhythm for the whole year, and then you repeat that the next year, and then you repeat that the next year, right? And if we set up a rhythm as a community, then other people can fall into that rhythm and flow. But if it's all over the place, then no one knows what's going on. Everyone's trying to run their own promotions, and it just becomes really confused and really hard, right? And then everyone sort of like splitting their energy, and it's not really needed. So this group will exist all year round, as we've said, as an educational platform for prospects. Don't drop and dump. And then once people purchase the product, add it to Be Well. So we've been through that. Next one. So details. So what we want to do here. So imagine, so we've got like the next 3 weeks, right? So the reboot will start. So the start date is July 16. So you might have people, you can prompt people into like maybe starting to do a detox by doing no harm through like a dry July. So think about the attraction you can create to your own space. Who wants to do a dry July with me? Who wants to break an addiction in July? So you're starting to get them on a little bit of a health kick in winter. And then, 1 or 2 weeks into it, you're priming them saying, hey guys, by the way, we're actually going to start a little reboot. Do you want to do like a full reset with me? I'm going to go pretty hard on July 16. Maybe Lockie, it's the boys that want to get like prim and prime for the finals. I know that's like what's going through my head at the moment. I'm like, how can I get as fit as I can for the end of the year? People coming into summer, it might be a different pain point. And remember, you want to really appeal to their emotional pain point. So if someone's got like an event coming up, like that little black dress event coming into summer, that's always a big thing. So they might want to lose 5 or 10 kilos so they can fit in that dress. Or maybe it's like a bikini thing, or maybe, Reese, it's someone going on a surf trip and they just want to, it's one of the older dudes that you're working with, and they just want to drop 10 kilos so they can actually optimize their trip and not feel like they're out of puff after 1 or 2 hours out there. So just start to think, whatever their pain point is, you can start to attract them from that, and then get them into this space. So 25th to the 1st of July, so that's basically next week, I think that is. Tully and I have just been working on the content. So all it is stories, guys. 80% of it's going to be stories, and then what we'll do is we'll have some live Q&As and things like that. So as the group grows and there's a bit of a dialogue, they'll tell us, the customers or the people in there who are asking questions will ask us and tell us what they need. Or say if you're on the phone and you're talking to people and we do the Q&A and you're like, oh, hey, Holly's been thinking about this. What do you guys suggest? And you're indirectly doing a 3-way within the group straight away, yeah? So you're taking yourself away from being the messenger and leveraging Tully or Lockie or someone else. And then we can actually edify each other in a real simple way. And then if we need to, from that space, we do 3-way calls and get them on web events like this if we need to, and we can really start to funnel in through that way. But we've got a central point that we all work together. Then from the 2nd July to the 8th of July, we want to start adding people to this group. So think, start of July, or next week it's just content, get it flowing, get the rhythm. We'll just start to get us in there and actually get us creating a dialogue and commenting and just get a bit of traction through the leaders. So that when we start adding people to the group, they already start to see a little bit of energy. They already start to see a bit of comments and things like that. So that'll be up to you guys to really step into that space if you want to help build this together. This energy only works if we're in there and engaging and creating a 2-way dialogue. And now it's not to say you have to do it every day, but it's like just comment and post. Same way we do in Be Well, right? Ask questions, share tools, things like that. We can be quite interactive. And then the registration period. So if we're starting 6th of July, what we want to do is have people ordering their packs the week before that. So aim for the 9th, the 12th, but it could go as late as the 15th. But, you want to give 2 or 3 days for the pack to arrive. So the what is the 16th of July. And then, we've got a bit of a 2 or 3 week lead up into this. Now, again, we run this process every quarter, same thing over and over again, right? But this is one that we can do successfully together, and then we can refine it and get a bit of feedback from you guys as leaders as how we can do it better together, and then we do it again, and then it becomes more refined. Then we do it again, it becomes more refined, and then that's how we build momentum. Okay, so is that all pretty clear so far? Everyone happy with that? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yep, thumbs up. Man's nodding. this is feeding off something that, we know we did well last year, and I know, thank you for driving that. We're just going to drive it again. So don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So content flows to the group. So the key thing is stories. So what we'll talk about here is I think we can get a little bit more creative. It doesn't have to be like that before and after photo, the same shit that everyone else does. We can make it more lifestyle oriented. We can make it more relative to people. It could be anything, right? It could be like I put up one about my last 16-week challenge was about performance and surfing and maintenance. It wasn't necessarily about losing 5 kilos, because we want to also think about content that we can use in our personal pages as well if we get permission. So again, we don't have to go recreate content by ourselves. We can actually leverage content that's coming through these pages. Short Facebook Lives, because Facebook Lives are the best way to pop up on people's news feeds, and we can do that on people sharing their experience. So Lockie, Mandy, 30-second stories, a great place for any of your product users or sharers to come in and for you to prompt them to share their story as well, and a place for them to practice. And then also Facebook Lives on products. So, you could do anything from how to make a cool smoothie bowl to, Reese could do something in a 30-second thing about what's actually in the Ionics, and then, tag a link into where the ingredients are on Isogenics product au.com. So we're always feeding back into systems and the tools, but the Facebook Live will, it's just summarize it, boom, pop out. We can create polls and engagement. So again, it's about a dialogue and a conversation, and we just want to keep it real. Like intermittent fasting, we know all this shit works. Let's prove it to the world that it does, and let's just rock up as our own personal brands. Let's stand for who we are and what we believe in, and why we've partnered with this, and why we're still using it personally. 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the track. And then it's just attracting people to that space with our own authenticity and integrity. So like I said, what we're launching with is, we'll cover this in the Facebook Live that Tully's going to do, but we've got 3 options. So make sure people know they have 3 options. And this is the key to marketing. It's like, if you're jumping on a plane, you've got, first class, business class, and economy class. And we always want to be sort of saying, well, the thing that's going to get the best results is, this. But then there's option B and C. And it's really important for the language around that. And then overcoming the price objection, we can have a Facebook Live in the group. And if anyone, comes up with is it too expensive? Then you just tag them in that. Like, oh, hey, Tully explains the costing quite effectively. And again, you don't have to go repeat it, right? So actions to take. So make sure you're in the group. So if you're not already, I think most of you are, and write this down, guys, because this is again, it's not, we're not going to force you to do anything. It's whether we're just setting up the space. If you want to help build this, then we'll do it together. So just share your 30-second story, Facebook Live, just your quick 30-second story. Hey, my name's Lockie, personal trainer from Melbourne. Before I got started, here's blah 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 blah. Just make it real and authentic, and just hit those pain points and tell your story on behalf of them. And then what you can do is you can reach out to existing customers. This would be a big one. This would be number one. Would reach out to people that have already done the program with you, so previous customers, and say, hey guys, who wants to reboot? I know you got success with the results last time. We're running another campaign starting July 16th. Are you keen to get involved? And you'll probably find that maybe 40% of your customers might want to actually get started again. They just want another reason to do it. Like I know myself, I want to do an annual reset. I know my body might go from a bit of healthy moderation, so on and so forth, with work and finances. Time's a very busy time of year with taxes and everything else. So I think there'll be a lot of people in July will be looking for some sort of reboot. If you haven't already, rewrite your list. So go create a fresh list, or maybe build on a new list, whatever it is, and just get some fresh names. Even just start with your first 10 names. Go back to basics if you're just getting started again. Go back to, isogenicsbusiness.com, your first 10 people, and just get to work on helping those 10 people. And that's it. And then once you've gone through that, then do the next 10, next 10, next 10. Don't think about 100, 500 lists until you've done that first 10. Step 4, send out a message. So invitation is key. Look up, if you haven't, or remind yourself of the 8 steps of Eric Rory about creating an invitation. Go back to that. It's about getting a confirmation. It's about getting a commitment. It's just those simple processes, guys, and really working on that. And I think the thing about having this group and these processes will allow you to work on the skills without having to feel like you have to actually do all this type of stuff. And then you can go do the do and really master the do. Step 5. So if they say, hey, yep, I'm keen to check out this group, or I'm keen to get involved in the winter reboot, then add them to add them to that space straight away and create a bit of interaction engagement and, you know, tag them into the stories that are relevant to them, tag them into the posts that are relevant to them, maybe not more than 1 or 2 things. And maybe even, you know, if they're a surfer or something like Reese, then be like, hey, you and Reese will actually get along really well. And you're already connecting and starting to create a connection for 3 ways and stuff down the track, right? And again, we're edifying each other as we go. Is that all pretty good? Yep, thumbs up. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, and then after the launch, people will be, so we've got a cutoff date. So this is the most important thing, and the reason why I think a lot of us don't get much traction is because we don't create urgency. So by having a specific start date, we are indirectly creating urgency for you. So what will happen is people will be like, oh, I can start now or I can start later. And what you can do is like, hey, we're going to run a promotion, you know, leading into summer as well. So if you're not ready now, I can let you know about that later. But for those that want to get ready now, we're starting in July 16. And, you know, it creates that urgency. And you can even add scarcity and be like, hey, man, I'm pretty busy. I can only work with 10 people at a time. If you want to be one of those 10, just let me know. Do you know what I mean? And you can start to really, you can create scarcity and urgency, which are the 2 key things that get people to move. So as an example, you know, so Peter with me, she was like, created scarcity. No, she had urgency, right? Because she said, hey, would you like, I'm signing up a personal trainer this week because she knows I was interested in the business side. And she's like, do you want to be in Jake and Mary's team, or do you want them to be in your team? And I knew about the compensation plan and things like that. And I was like, after 9 months, I was like, all right, let's do it. And like, literally, that was the one conversation that got me over the line. So it's the power of urgency at the right time. So once you're in, once they've got started and they've registered, then we add them to the Be Well group and we run that customer process. And what we'll do is we'll start to celebrate them and start to share results after week 1, week 2, in the reboot group. So maybe the ones that missed out and didn't decide, they'll see their friends or people that were in that group starting to start and get results. And then that creates a bit of FOMO for them to want to get started with the next one, right? Because we've got proof of concept, we've got the social proof. But being able to share that in a way where customers are interested and actually see the shifts and changes, then it makes it really real for people. And that is pretty much it in a nutshell. So what I'd like to do is open the floor now and just, does anyone, just put your hand up, anyone have any questions or any queries or any thoughts or anything, any good ideas? Because again, this is for all of us.
On Ross?
Yeah, you go, Locke.
Just quickly, did you want us to have a little schedule on when we share our post so we're not all flooding it?
Yeah, maybe the best way, just thinking, well, in the next week, I don't think it'll really matter because it'll, for early on, we'll just get the content. I think just for us, let's get those stories in there because we don't really have a lot of people in there the next week anyway. And then we've got stories that we can actually comment and add people to. And then, like I said, once we've got that initial sort of traction, then I think what we can do is we can create a schedule for the people that actually want to give value to the group and want to show up weekly and do stuff. Then they can maybe step in and take a day. But early on, me and Tal just said, you know, we're just going to run the process and take that onus off you guys, so you can just plug in and leverage like everyone did in the beginning.
And like what you said, if Mandy has like a PT that she wants to, then she could just tag me in my 2-minute story. So like you've already got that there to, perfect.
Perfect. Awesome. Any other questions, guys? Or comments or suggestions? And again, if you've got on late, I'll put the recording up and you can see the first half of this.
That's all good, Roz. So Tully's going to do a live on this soon, is he?
Yeah, we'll do a live into the group. But is everybody, probably the key action is everyone cool to jump into the winter reboot and just do their 30-second story and again, guys, just follow the format. You know, just be real and just don't make it any more than like 90 seconds, even if you can. I know Tully said 2 minutes, but even that's probably a bit long.
Yep. Easy.
Cool. I'll see if I can take. Are there any other questions? Sounds good. Awesome. OG. Epic. All right. Well, if that's all, unmute all. Everyone's unmute. So there's no other questions. We can shoot off. and get into gear.
Best wishes, Roz, to your mum.
Yeah, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. I think I'll pop upstairs now and I'll see how she's going.
Yeah, all the best with that, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
I'll give you a call after Rolls through Facebook.
Hey?
I'll give you a call a bit later on Facebook.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, love you, Levy.
Rolls.
Thanks for jumping on. Let's get into a bit of rhythm, and I'll see you guys popping up in those groups.
Cheers, mate. Yep.
Thanks, Rose.
All right. See you guys.